This prestigious manufacturer of firearms has always been talked about in superlatives and highest praise by shooters and gun experts alike. Production of Korth firearms started in 1954, when they first made high-quality all-metal gas firearms in the town of Ratzeburg, some 50 kilometers east of Hamburg. In his weapons, Mr. Korth has always realized his personal and novel ideas. He has developed a hitherto unprecedented revolver trigger system and, as early as in 1944, filed a patent application for the construction of an army and police pistol model 1944. Drawings of his first pistol can be found in Veit Morgenroth's book of Willy Korth, Seine Waffen. In this video, I am proud to present to you such an extensive collection of Korth pistols. You will see a number of impressive unique versions, cutaway models, unfinished parts and prototypes. In particular, you are about to see a pistol set with 2 conversion systems and a shoulder stock, an early Korth pistol still featuring a Mauser extractor, a pistol with a beautifully engraved hunting scene, a blue Korth pistol with special serial number, an experimental version in 7.65 caliber, a cutaway model short version, a cutaway model long version, the prototype of the 45 ACP Korth pistol, the only one ever made, a variety of unfinished parts, the spare parts box, which is included as a bonus in the collection. All firearms are still owned by the collector and can therefore only be viewed in this video. Until the 1st of December 2012, interested firearms collectors have the opportunity of placing an open bid on the complete collection or individual pieces addressed to Waffenhandel Schlottmann in Schwerin, Germany. Interested parties will need to provide a valid purchase license, for instance a German Waffenbesitzkarte für Sammler, a Waffenhandelslizenz or similar international license, a copy of which needs to be provided with the bid. After the deadline, the anonymous seller will be free to decide which bid he will accept. Contact info can be found at www.sammlerwaffen.de or www.waffenschlottmann.de. I will start the presentation with a complete pistol set with 2 additional conversion systems, that is uppers, in 357 SIG, 9mm Luger and 40 Smith & Wesson calibers, all bearing identical serial numbers and the surface variants offered by Korth. This is another project of the last Korth company made in Ratzeburg. Korth firearms were never produced anywhere else. This is a stock for the pistol. It was introduced by Korth at the IWA fair in Nuremberg, and this is the version later manufactured by Korth GmbH as a slightly simplified variant. Only 3 specimens of this stock are known to exist. A photo of the first original can be found in Morgenroth's Die Korthwaffe. There the stock is also shown, therefore the stock in itself is a rarity. There was only 1 specimen made by Willy Korth. However, it was slightly more sophisticated as it had a kind of lock incorporated in the area where the thumb is. The lock was introduced to keep it from sliding out, but the version shown here also appears quite reliable. It is just a bit simpler. Well, Korth was a man who preferred to make everything complicated. This drill hole can be found on every pistol, up here where the stock pin is inserted. This is a manufacturing feature, a kind of 0 point from where measurements can be taken. The drill hole has no specific purpose for the stock. It is found in every Korth pistol. And down here is the pin which accepts the lower part. This is also only found in a pistol which has a shoulder stock. I kind of like this technical solution. Everything is neatly fitted and handcrafted. Here we once again see the two uppers, the conversion systems. All three uppers are identical as to their barrel length. This one system is in 40 Smith & Wesson. This version is matte nickel coated. Then we have a conversion system in the 357 SIG caliber in black finish. This finish is done in a bluing process. Near the end there were also some firearms with a black plasma coating. And once again the fantastic surface treatment becomes apparent. Isn't it simply beautiful? I feel it looks especially impressive as the light reflexes pass over the surface and engraving. With this video I would like to give you a direct impression of the firearms. Quite as though you are holding that rare piece in your own hands. I believe it is a lot more impressive than having it lie flat to be photographed. The reality with collectors is, once you have acquired a sought-after piece, you soon want more. Due to my background as a tool maker, firearms have always fascinated me physically and technologically. This is especially true for the Korth pistol, as its technology is interesting and because of the craftsmanship and tight tolerances. This upper is in 9mm Luger, and its surface is high gloss chrome. After acquiring his first exhibit, the owner of this collection was in need of a magazine. That is why he visited Korth at the time and thus established the contact to Korth. Then his visits became more frequent. You need to talk to the right people. Let me mention that this collection includes a box with assorted spare parts, which I'm going to show you later on. However, no part will be sold individually, no point in calling me for spare parts. Well, this pistol is also in the 357 SIG caliber. The engraving was done by one Mr. Kaufmann. This was not made to order, but the owner of the collection has bought it for being irresistibly beautiful. Even if you're not into engraved firearms, you will have to admit that this is a very fine piece indeed. The Korth pistol in itself is already rare, and to have one engraved like this is highly desirable and interesting for any collection. Ammunition in the 357 SIG caliber is now easily available, so it can be bought with the appropriate license. The pistol could be used without concern on a shooting range. It does not require a special load. This pistol accepts all available factory cartridges without a problem. If you are hand loading, you will just have to use due care, as cartridges in 357 SIG are quite powerful. What we see here is a very early Korth pistol bearing the old Korth logo. This one was still made by Willy Korth. Its caliber is 9mm Luger. With the early pistols, Willy Korth has always added a P in front of the serial number. The P stands for pistol. And here we see the extractor. At one time Willy Korth used to be with Mauser, therefore the typical Mauser extractor, which is not spring-loaded. But the extractor is a spring in itself. The cutaway model is not the ideal reference, as the extractor is seen exposed and the extractor is seen being held by the spring. This is the box, and here the original sticker. This was only supplied with the first run. Didn't come with later issues. This pistol was also made by the final Korth company and coated in blue. And this blue firearm is some sort of special edition as it is labeled S77. The significance of it is unknown. Let me briefly comment on the numbering system. As 285 is the highest number, there must be special models. The number of all pistols produced is in that region. 289 have been verified in research. Here we have a purely experimental specimen. It was tried to include an additional firing pin safety, which would have been a requirement for export to the United States. And then they have combined this with a rather unusual caliber. 7.65 para would have been a totally unpopular caliber in the American market, but here it was attempted to try everything possible for future reference. This experimental firearm in 7.65 with the additional safety comes with a couple of additional springs. From that you can see that the different recoil springs were tried in order to find the best possible result. Naturally, it also has proof marks, and as the 7.65 caliber cartridge does not deliver a lot of punch, the pistol will not be harmed if the new owner were to test fire it. On the other hand, there's always some risk involved with collector's firearms. Similar to driving your vintage car in a rally, there is no warranty. This M5 is an unusual number. There are others bearing an M number, but they are all experimental specimen. Here it has been tried to add a fixation of the locking block in order to prevent it from falling off during disassembly. This is a piece on which the Korth people have done a lot of tinkering and trying. You can see it again here, and this is the lock of the pistol. Among Korth pistols existed a long-barreled version, as can be seen here. A cutaway model of this version has survived in the collection. This may have been an experimental firearm. Perhaps something didn't turn out as expected, and then it was converted into a cutaway model. I like the idea of the inserted bullet. It looks very good and illustrative. The owner of this collection has told me the reason why he has decided to put it up for sale. He is retired now and in his best years, and he has always vowed to part of his collection while still alive. His offspring have little interest in the matter, hence the decision. Here we see a short cutaway model on a stand. This is how the pistol was presented at fairs and exhibitions. The stand can be taken off by also removing the magazine. With these pistols, the hammer spring with its guide strut is hidden by a precisely fitted wooden grip insert. During Willie Korth's active time, besides gas revolvers, some 7,000 live ammo revolvers of utmost precision and a high percentage of hand fitting were manufactured. 70% of the manufacturing process consisted of manual preparation, testing and finishing. Perfectionist and inventor Willie Korth has led his own pistol project into its actual production phase, uncompromisingly employing aesthetical and technological criteria. The enormous challenge in the third-party manufacture of necessary precision parts would make the product almost prohibitive to the interested public. That is why, according to my sources, only 289 pistols of this make were ever made. Of those, only a few have remained in Germany. To some extent, such firearms were commissioned as a present or award and finished by the Korth company according to customer specifications. This is an early Korth box in which revolvers were originally shipped, and it contains an absolute highlight. We see the experimental weapon chambered in the 45 ACP caliber. There are only 2 Korth firearms in 45 ACP worldwide. One is in America. That one was only converted from a normal 9mm Korth pistol. And of course everything looks a bit flimsy. But this is the second, the real 45 pistol. It was supposed to be the forerunner of a whole series, as everything was reinforced and beefed up to match the caliber. This is the long upper. You see, there are 2 conversion uppers included. The long one is installed and this is the short one. This is a standard magazine, and there is the longer version from Italy. Well, not much to add to this, you see for yourselves. The frame is made from stainless steel. So, in this version, this is the only one in existence, with a proper frame, slide, barrel, and so on, tailored for 45. It is not just machined to accommodate everything in the larger caliber, but it is especially designed as a 45 pistol. And this one comes with the 2 slides in different length and with 2 different magazines custom built. Well, the long magazine is a standard magazine from Italy. Theoretically, you would still be able to order it today. You don't shoot such collector's firearms, therefore it is of no real importance whether you might still be able to buy magazines for this 45. Well, for me, it is purely a collector's item. Although I have unlimited confidence in the product, I would rather not shoot it. A good demonstration of the reason for not doing it is the included barrel. I suppose, due to a test with some heavier load, the rear lug has broken off. Here you can see what has happened. In comparison with the others, you can see that it has broken off where it looks welded and slightly polished over. Here you see the different springs of varying strength. It is all as the Korth people have used it in order to establish which spring works best. On the other hand, function will always depend on ammunition to some degree. As you change your type of ammo, the gun may function differently. That way tinkering may never stop. As the pistol has no additional safety, it is speculated that it had initially been forgotten, and therefore the 45 has never gone into serial production. This is conceivable, as there is no other. More decisive may have been the fact that the Korth people ran into problems with a new owner who did not want to invest. So that could be the reason why the project was dropped. Here you see how nicely the lockup works. The little hole in the rim, that is where the end of the recoil spring connects. This brass part seems to be a part used in the manufacturing process, probably used to screw in the barrel, which was then glued in place. As you can see, the barrel is screwed into the lock up here. This is the short conversion system. You get a good view of the lock. The grip panels of this prototype are made of plastic. It doesn't look like it though. At first I thought it must be something else, such as ebony or similar, perhaps. This proves the fact that not much was invested here. For serial production, grip panels would have had to be commissioned, so they most probably used available plastic to make them in the shop. I regard this 45 as the highlight of the collection, because there's only this one. It is labeled Versuchswaffe, which means test gun. The pistol has proof marks and has been officially vetted by a German Bureau of Standards in respect of durability, dimensional stability, safety of function and identification. This means the pistol is authorized for use, I would not shoot it though. Its collector's value would be my main concern. Naturally, collector's firearms do not come with a warranty, which needs to be stated here. If I buy a stamp collection, that is not with intent to send mail. I would assume that this 45 has been subjected to some real torture in the test phase to see if everything was durable enough to last a long time. Someone told the owner of the collection about the first 45, which is in America, that everything on it appears rather thin. This is because the first one was converted from a standard frame gun. Therefore, the one at hand is the better and conceptually sound variant in 45 SEP. Earlier on, I had always believed there was only one 45 which had disappeared somewhere in the United States. The Americans swear by the 45 caliber because of the effective stopping power. As I have now heard, somebody had inquired whether they could build him a 45. Then the Korth people made him one using a standard gun as the basis. Everything had to be milled as the caliber was distinctively larger. That was the first 45, but, as mentioned before, all the basic parts of a 9mm and its original dimensions. Here you see an assortment of unfinished parts which ideally complement the collection. The slide is a reject. There's also a reject barrel in it. Doesn't fit too well. Somebody goofed. But for demonstration purposes, these parts are very useful, and you can see the amount of workmanship having gone into it. Especially the metalwork is a pleasure to see. Such additional parts have always been important for a collector. Not only to own the product, but to also be able to salvage additional interesting parts, even those which may have fallen off the workbench. Well, this is how the production of the barrel starts. We already see the front sight. This is where the chambered barrel fits in. That is where the barrel is inserted. There you see the lock. Here it is finished. You see how easily the barrel is screwed in. Those are sophisticated parts. They are not made just like that. It is easy to notice all that high quality milling work involved. And if you imagine that Korth never used drawings or such, it was all in his head. For this pistol there was a sheet metal template with a drill hole and nothing else. That is the reason why his successors initially met with some degree of failure. They had to treat a whole heap of revolvers as scrap metal, as they wouldn't function properly. Willy Korth had everything in his head. Hardly any drawings. He had his tools, gauges and templates. In my own workshop I have a habit of sticking little notes to machines. If they go missing, I may have to start from scratch. To keep everything in the head is very complicated. The essential and at the same time decisive factors of a Korth product are the source materials and the workmanship. The high-grade material alone, offering a tensile strength of 1200 Newton mm squared, would be a distinct difference from most of the competition. With Korth, however, all parts are additionally hardened to 58 Rockwell. All this is a guarantee of a long product life and lasting precision. The fitting of parts was done individually by hand. Korth's extreme accuracy of fit was only made possible by manual post-production work done by experienced personnel. The dedicated workforce at Korth always regarded themselves as the eyes, hands and hearts of Willy Korth. Seeing this box may cause a couple of hearts to miss a beat, especially if you own such a pistol which might be in need of one of these parts. However, I need to tell you that this lot will only be sold as a whole. All those sincerely interested need a valid license in the form of a collector's firearms permit or an FFL firearms dealer license. I can be approached via my website www.sammlerwaffe.de. The seller wants to remain anonymous for the time being, and as all firearms are still located at his place, so regrettably they cannot be viewed at this time. There is no point in coming to see me.